Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. Sarawak Day is celebrated not only to recognize the contributions of past generations, but also to ensure the younger generation understands Sarawak's true constitutional standing. In his message, Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar says the occasion serves as a crucial platform to educate youth on the significance of the Malaysia Agreement 1963 or MA63.
Salah satu perkara yang amat signifikan berkenaan dengan Hari Sarawak ialah peranan sebagai platform penting untuk menyedarkan dan mendidik generasi muda tentang apa yang tersurat dan tersirat dalam Perjanjian Malaysia 1963 atau dikenali sebagai MA63. Sambutan ini menegaskan sepenuhnya status Sarawak bukan sekadar sebuah negeri biasa, sebaliknya sebagai satu wilayah dan rakan sekutu ataupun equal partner yang menubuhkan persekutuan Malaysia seperti yang tersurat dalam perlembagaan dan tersirat di dokumen-dokumen perlembagaan Perjanjian Malaysia 1963 ataupun MA63.
After more than 6 decades, Junaidi says Sarawak continues to make history by boldly charting its own course towards a more sustainable, prosperous and inclusive future. Noting that sustaining this momentum requires deep mutual respect across all communities, he calls on the public to actively uphold social harmony. As such, he adds that racial unity and political stability are the pillars guaranteeing Sarawak's continued development, and that maintaining this progress rests not only on the government and leaders, but in the hands of every Sarawakian.
On the same note, Premier Datuk Peninggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg calls on all Sarawakians to harness the state's multi-ethnic and religious diversity as the foundation for achieving its long-term economic and developmental goals. In his official address for Sarawak Day 2026, the Premier stresses that July 22nd is not just a historical commemoration, but a clear symbol of solidarity, mutual respect, and shared determination among the people. He notes that protecting this social fabric is vital for guiding the region's ongoing transformation under PCDS 2030.
This economic plan is anchored by key drivers such as the digital economy, green energy transition, continuous innovation, human capital development, and efficient governance. The Premier adds that the state government remains fully focused on pushing Sarawak toward becoming an advanced, high-income region by 2030. Expressing confidence in the region's direction, he states that strong commitment, public trust, and teamwork across all sectors help Sarawak keep its prosperous and sustainable path growing for current and future generations.
The halal industry is gaining strong momentum, expanding into markets beyond the Muslim world, with the potential to become a global industry driven by quality, safety and scientific innovation. Premier Datuk Peninggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg says halal products developed through scientific research not only meet the demands of Muslim consumers, but also comply with international standards, making them attractive to non-Muslim consumers.
And we give priority to science-based research. In order to do that, we have to prepare our students, the young, Muslim and non-Muslim, together to explore halal process. The non-halal process ada susah sikit lah. But if it's halal process and the user is both Muslim and non-Muslim, then there is something that has been contributed by us for humanity. And the young must be nurtured. So from Sarawak perspective, we are giving free tertiary education to all anak Sarawak in Sarawak own universities. And we give priority to 64 programs, all science-based, and the arts, social science, we give priority to finance, law, banking, and psychology.
During the Borneo International Halal Showcase BIHAS 2026 held on Tuesday, Abang Johari says the halal industry must continue to be developed through R&D that delivers health benefits, confidence and safety to consumers. Additionally, he says challenges such as global population growth, climate change and food security remain major concerns, requiring solutions driven by innovation and technology. Hence, Sarawak, Abang Johari adds, will prioritize R&D in sectors such as food technology, biotechnology, AI, and other science-based fields to produce high-value products. Meanwhile, he also says Sarawak has allocated 300 million ringgit to develop a tropical disease research center to explore the potential of local biodiversity for the development of new medicines.
Petronas has awarded nearly 50 billion ringgit in contracts to Sarawak-based oil and gas vendors since 2014. Deputy Sarawak Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan says with 60% of those projects executed locally, it proves the growing capability of Sarawak companies to handle major industry demands.
In the first quarter of 2026 alone, 267 Sarawakian vendors secured more than 1.57 billion ringgit Malaysia worth of contracts, representing more than 32% of the total jobs awarded in Sarawak. These achievements are complemented by cumulative upstream investments exceeding RM 310 billion as of the fourth quarter of 2025.
Speaking at the 2025 Sarawak Vendor Appreciation Ceremony for the OGSE industry earlier today, he said this achievement proves Sarawak companies are growing stronger and more competitive in handling complex upstream oil and gas operations. Tengah stresses that building an innovative and forward-looking industrial ecosystem is essential for long-term energy security. He adds that Petronas' ongoing support for local vendors remains critical to keeping Sarawak's industry competitive.
101 male boarding students at Sekolah Menengah Agama Tarbiyah Diniyah along Jalan Pegawai in Kulim escape unharmed after a fire erupts in their hostel early Tuesday morning. Kulim Fire and Rescue Station Operations Commander, Assistant Superintendent of Fire Abdul Mois Ahmad Mansur confirms that all students safely evacuated the premises.
He says that emergency services received a distress call at 2:47 this morning, prompting rescue personnel from the Kulim station and the Kulim High-Tech station to rush to the scene. He adds that the operation also received vital backing from the Lunas and Kulim Volunteer Fire Brigades. The blaze devastated a two-story male hostel building, destroying approximately 65% of the upper floor structure. Firefighters brought the fire under control by 3:09 in the morning, while investigators continue to probe the cause of the incident and determine total losses.
Tensions in West Asia have surged sharply tonight following direct Iranian strikes on US military installations, fresh attacks on oil tankers, and a major new threat to global energy supplies. But in the latest turn of events, the conflict is now spreading south as Yemen's Houthis announce a blockade of Saudi ports in the Red Sea.
The move threatens Riyadh's vital Red Sea export routes used to bypass the blockaded Strait of Hormuz.
أولاً تعلن القوات المسلحة اليمنية حظر الملاحة البحرية على العدو السعودي المجرم وفق معادلة الحصار بالحصار، وسيدخل حيز التنفيذ من لحظة إعلان هذا البيان. ثانياً نؤكد على حق شعبنا العظيم في مواجهة الحصار بالحصار والتصعيد الشامل بالتصعيد الشامل وتثبيت هذه المعادلة. ثالثا، تؤكد القوات المسلحة اليمنية جهوزيتها الكاملة لكافة الخيارات، وأن أي حماقة يقدم عليها العدو السعودي الأرعن من خلال التصعيد الشامل فسنواجه بتصعيد شامل وقاس بإذن الله وقوته.
Meanwhile, following U.S. airstrikes intended to degrade Iranian military capabilities, Tehran retaliated hours later. Iranian forces targeted U.S. radar installations and air defense systems across Kuwait and Bahrain. Iran's Revolutionary Guards warned Washington to prepare for even more decisive and powerful waves of attacks. U.S. President Donald Trump warned on Truth Social that Iran will pay many times over for U.S. casualties. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, meanwhile, declared the conflict a full-scale war. Despite the military exchanges, Iranian officials claim indirect diplomatic channels with Washington remain open.
Shortages of food and clean water while living in makeshift tents are the harsh reality Gazans face as they continue to endure attacks by the Israeli military. These conditions have led to numerous health complications, making life even more difficult for civilians. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society reports that chickenpox cases have risen in recent months as the conflict has forced thousands of Palestinians into cramped tents with no access to clean water for hygiene.
يعني فعلا هناك ازدياد في تشخيص وعدد حالات الجدري المائي في الآونة الأخيرة أو في الأشهر الأخيرة، وذلك يعني يعود إلى عدة أسباب. السبب الأول إنه مريض الجدري يجب أن يعزل لأنه طريقة العدوى أو طريق العدوى عبارة عن عدوى بالنفس.
He adds that the lack of space to isolate patients is fueling the spread of the highly contagious disease, making it virtually impossible to separate those who are infected from those who are healthy. Ala Sadeh describes her sister's condition.
أختي ربا اكتشفنا عندها حكة في جسمها وفي جلدها، عرضناها على دكتور وقال لنا الدكتور إن هذا جدر الماء. جدر الماء طبعا سببه اللي هو قلة النظافة، تزاحم الخيام، المية اللي بتيجي مرة في الأسبوع، وكمان مية مالحة يعني مش مية نظيفة، بسبب الحياة اللي احنا عايشينها هنا في الخيام.
While chickenpox is often considered an unpleasant but manageable illness in wealthier countries, the unsanitary conditions in Gaza's camps make it extremely difficult for patients and their families to prevent its spread or manage its symptoms. In a statement, UNICEF, citing health officials' data, said more than 9,300 suspected cases of chickenpox had been recorded across Gaza by early July, with most cases concentrated in Khan Yunis in the south. Beyond the spread of disease, Gazans continue to endure daily strikes that can occur at any time. The Al-Masri brothers recounted an attack yesterday that killed their relatives while they were asleep. The screams of their brothers' children echoed through the house, yet they could do nothing but watch in agony as fire consumed their loved ones.
لحظات صعبة، أنت مش قادر تسوي شيء والنار قاعدة بتاكلك، صرت أمسك أولادي أرميهم من الشباك، صاروا الجيران يتناولونا، ست الوالدة من الشباك، حجة كبيرة تمسكها من الشباك ترميها، عشان النار قاعدة بتقرب عليك.
وإحنا نايمين في نص الليل كده يمكن الساعة 2 أو ما يقارب، سمع صوت انفجار قوي، فلقينا إنه في قصف على البيت والبيت اتهدم والنيران اشتعلت.
To date, more than 73,200 Palestinians have been killed in the Gaza Strip, with 173,686 others wounded since October 7, 2023. The figure does not include those who remain missing or whose bodies have yet to be recovered from the rubble of destroyed buildings. Additionally, more than 260 journalists and media workers have been killed while reporting on the conflict.
Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.